When you think of the term YouTuber, the first thought to cross your mind might just be an energetic young person ready to make it on the internet. Not exactly somebody on death's door. But with this site maturing, we're seeing a lot more creators pass away. And since YouTubers often have a much more connected audience than traditional celebrities, it makes many ask the question, what happens when that takes place? Well, this is a question I ponder quite a bit, so me as well as my team spent hundreds of hours researching 100 YouTubers that are no longer with us. And today I'll be sharing the story of every single one of them. John Bain, better known by his online alias Total Biscuit, was a much beloved video game critic. Getting his start in radio, Bain hosted a very popular World of Warcraft show from 2005 to 2010, appropriately titled World of Warcraft Radio. After ending the show, John then pivoted his focus to his website cynicalbrit.com and his YouTube channel, where he continued to post regular video game related content. It was at that point he was approached by a network known as The Game Station to join their group. There, Bain met many of his longtime friends and collaborators, including Jesse Cox and Dodger, whom he hosted the popular Co-Optional podcast with. Sadly, in 2014, John announced to his fans that he had been diagnosed with bowel cancer. He quickly began treatment and saw a huge outpouring of support from across the internet landscape. Despite the cancer going into remission around 2016, by 2018 things became considerably worse. Unfortunately, on May 24th, 2018, John's wife went to Twitter to announce that he had passed away at the age of 33. She kept Cynical Brit and the Co-Optional podcast going in his memory, and Blizzard even launched a DLC pack for World of Warcraft in his honor, with all proceeds going to support John's wife and son in their time of need. James William Stobe, or as his fans knew him, Stobe the Hobo, gained notoriety on YouTube for filming and uploading his favorite activity, train hopping. In these videos, Stobe would ride atop different trains and goofily narrate the experience with a heavy Western drawl. Enough people were entertained by his adventures for him to eventually reach over 38,000 subscribers. But on November 9th, 2017, Stobe died recording one of his train hopping videos. While accounts vary as to how exactly his death occurred, the general belief on the internet is that after becoming trapped on a narrow bridge, an oncoming Amtrak passenger train caught the straps on his bags and swept the 32-year-old under the train. His family and fans remember him most for being an avid filmmaker and passionate outdoorist. ZackTV was a YouTube channel founded in 2009 by a man by the name of Zack Stoner. The channel was mainly dedicated to documenting Chicago's hip-hop scene as well as the culture surrounding it. In its time, ZackTV was a relatively successful channel, gaining over 170,000 subscribers over its lifetime. On May 30th, 2018, while driving home from a concert at Chicago's Refuge nightclub, Stoner was shot and killed before crashing his Jeep into a nearby light post. Witnesses claim to have seen at least 4 people flee the scene together in another car, leading police to believe the shooting was gang-related. Many suspect that Stoner was killed due to his reporting on the Chicago gang world, but to this day no arrests have ever been made for the case. Jared Anthony Higgins, otherwise known as JuiceWRLD, was a rapper who got his start during high school in 2015. He clearly had a passion for rap, as he would continue posting new songs to SoundCloud until 2017, when he was noticed and signed by the label Grade A Productions. This was when his career truly began taking off, as in 2018 he signed to a new label, Interscope Records, for a whopping $3 million. It seemed like everyone wanted to work with JuiceWRLD, and that included YouTube. In May of 2019, a minor controversy started when a video was leaked seemingly depicting YouTube CEO offering to artificially promote JuiceWRLD on the site. This controversy didn't affect the rapper though, as pretty much all the ire was directed at YouTube. Sadly, despite his career continuing to be on the rise, Jared died on December 8th, 2019 in Chicago's Midway International Airport following a drug overdose. As with most big singers, JuiceWRLD was featured on a few songs after his death, most notably Eminem's popular track, Godzilla. MeeshaTV was a fashion and beauty channel started in 2009 by Tamisha Ridge, a 31-year-old single mother of 3. She saw some good success in her time, gaining over 140,000 subscribers and getting thousands of views per video on a somewhat consistent basis. Tragically, on May 14th, 2014, Tamisha was murdered in her sleep in an act of domestic violence by her ex-boyfriend, who soon after turned himself over to police. These days, her channel still sees frequent uploads from a third party, presumably family members. James Ray, along with his partners Chad and Kurt, managed the YouTube channel ClipCritics. Using cutout animation to enliven their assigned characters, the three reviewed viral videos and contemporary political stories by giving their over-the-top commentary. The series was a favorite in YouTube's early days, with even Philip DeFranco shouting them out in one of his videos. James was a considerable part of the show's appeal with his role as the character of Zoran, the ship's nerdy validation-seeking crew member. On August 29, 2017, while he and Kurt were on a Google Hangout, James had a heart attack. Emergency services arrived at the house after Kurt called them, and they took him to the hospital, where he would die on the surgical table. Chad posted a video to the channel 3 days later where he relayed the story and reminisced on his favorite memories with James. He ends the video by playing James' touching last voice message, which he sent right before going into surgery. Malina was a young Polish rapper and avid motorcyclist. His musical talent paired with his biking ability made him an up-and-coming talent to be reckoned with, surpassing 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. In 2012, Malina was on the road when he lost control of his motorcycle due to the rough weather conditions, and suffered a head-on collision with the van in front of him. Though the medics gave it their best efforts, he died on the way to the hospital at the age of 18. This occurred only 2 months and 2 days after his close friend Stork died of a similar accident. Kayden Clarke was a self-identified transgender man, who first achieved viral fame after posting a video of his service dog preventing him from committing self-harm. Following this video garnering over 1 million views, he created a YouTube channel in December of 2015, with the goal of documenting his transitioning process from female to male. In his final video entitled "Must Fix Autism Before I Start TBs," he details his experience of struggling with mental illness. He recounts having several clinics refuse to treat him and dealing with a gender therapist who refused to prescribe testosterone in his current state. He also tells that he's attempted suicide in many ways due to his conditions, including suicide by cop. What viewers at the time didn't know is that he would become a repeat offender. On May 4th, 2016, 2 police officers responded to a call about a suicidal woman. Upon arriving at the location, they were lunged at by a person wielding a kitchen knife and fired their weapons in response. Kayden Clarke was killed that day at 24. Though comedian Nick Spears had a YouTube channel he regularly uploaded to, his main claim to fame was through his account on Vine. Known for his brash humor and wacky characters, his videos were the favorite among many, gaining him over 120,000 followers on the app. Beyond comedy, he was also an ardent supporter of the charity F Cancer and created several videos for the nonprofit's Vine account. On February 21st, 2014, Nick died of a heart attack. Upon learning this news, prominent Vine stars who were close to him tweeted out their farewells. Rich Piana was a bodybuilder and businessman who became a popular figure in the weightlifting community due to his history of achievements and sociable personality. On his channel, where he gave fans a front row seat to his workout routines, Rich's videos in total earned over 300 million views and garnered him over 1 million subscribers. Though he was always upfront about his use of steroids and growth hormones, none of his fans could have predicted how it would soon backfire. On August 7th, 2017, while getting a haircut from his girlfriend Janice, he suffered cardiac arrest and collapsed, hitting his head on the floor. Paramedics arrived 10 minutes later to pick him up, and it was determined he had suffered brain damage from lacking oxygen for an extended period of time. In a last-ditch effort by doctors, he was placed in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks in an attempt to reduce the brain swelling, but to no use. Rich died on August 25th, 2017 at the age of 46. His autopsy showed that due to a lifetime of steroid use, his heart and liver weighed over twice the average amount. Alexei Lyok and Riker Gamble were just two of the creators behind the popular travel channel High on Life. Across a team of vloggers, High on Life brought weekly doses of excitement to their audience, capturing exotic locations, performing risky stunts, and encouraging their viewers to embrace the unknown. The channel first made the news in 2016 when they took an illegal detour to film an up-close shot of themselves near the Grand Prismatic Spring for their vlog at the Yellowstone Park. The next time their channel name would make headlines, the tone would be much more somber. On July 3rd, 2018, Riker, Alexei, and Alexei's longtime girlfriend Megan, who made appearances in their videos, took a trip to Shannon Falls, the third highest waterfall in British Columbia. While swimming in one of the pools at the top, Megan slipped on a ledge and plummeted down nearly 100 feet. As Riker and Alexei sprung into action to save her, the two plummeted the same fatal plunge down below. And that was the last time anyone saw the three alive. The High on Life crew uploaded a video 3 days later paying respect to their fallen friends, describing them as three of the warmest, kindest, most driven and outgoing people one could ever meet. Grant Thompson was better known to YouTube viewers as the King of Random, and rose to prominence through his DIY science projects and experiments, as well as his positive and optimistic attitude. His channel started in 2010 and amassed over 12 million subscribers since then. Grant's passion for his work made him very popular in the science YouTube space. Sadly, in 2019, Grant was killed in Washington County, Utah during a paramotoring accident. The entire community mourned his passing, and the King of Random channel posted several tribute videos in his honor. The channel he founded is still being run by members of Grant's team, and is still committed to his mission of teaching science and spreading positivity. Although Roman Atwood started out on YouTube as a prankster, his vlogs were what launched him into mainstream stardom, where his fans got a glimpse at his life with all of his family members also sharing in that spotlight. In his video Happy Birthday Dad, millions of fans got their first look at his affectionate mother as well, Susan Atwood, and couldn't get enough of her sweet demeanor, with her becoming a favorite of the vlog's fanbase. On May 29th, 2019, during an Atwood family vacation, Susan and her grandson were riding around on a scooter when she fell off and hit her head. Promptly losing all vitals, she was rushed to the hospital where she passed away. Roman took a short sabbatical from the channel following the tragic incident, and returned with a video entitled "I Miss Her So Much," which featured a slideshow of her childhood photos. Samantha Jaelle, whose real name was Samantha Last, was a makeup and beauty vlogger as well as a married mother of 4. In September of 2019, Samantha was taken to the hospital for a severe headache, where she learned that she had an inoperable brain tumor. Her video telling her subscribers about the situation received an incredible outpouring of support. In the wake of her diagnosis, her husband set up a GoFundMe for the family to take one last trip together, which raised over £20,000. Shortly thereafter, Samantha passed away. Trevor Heitman, known to his fans as McSkillet, was a YouTuber best known for making content related to the popular game CSGO. He managed to amass over 800,000 subscribers to his channel by mainly making videos discussing the real-world value for weapons and skins from the game. While maybe not apparent to many subscribers, McSkillet was a very troubled individual, and on August 23, 2018, Trevor got in his car and began speeding the wrong way down a highway at 100 miles per hour in an apparent suicide. The last moment of his life was him ramming head-on with an oncoming SUV, killing not only himself but the occupants of the other car, namely a 43-year-old woman and her 12-year-old daughter. Angel X Mikey was the internet handle of a man named Michael McBride, and was a talented animator and artist. Michael got his start making animations on the website Newgrounds before branching out to his very own YouTube channel. Most of his animations were video game parodies, although as the years went on, he began focusing more on speed drawing videos. In addition to his own channel, Michael also did a lot of animation work for a Let's Play channel known as Papa Fear Razor. In 2017, Michael uploaded a video about his lifelong struggle with cystic fibrosis, and how after he had been diagnosed as a baby, doctors hadn't expected him to survive past the age of 6. However, through perseverance and force of will, Michael lived into his adult adulthood, beating the odds. Tragically, in January of 2019, Michael passed away due to a failure in his lungs caused by his disease. His death prompted a large outpouring of grief from the online animation community, who stated that they would miss his consistently upbeat and positive attitude. Benny and Rafi Fine's popular React series has seen its fair share of success over the years. Starting with Kids React, they blew up in popularity very quickly, and this success prompted them to think of other spin-off shows. One of the most popular of these was Elders React, premiering in May of 2014. Given the amount of time the series has gone on for, as well as the age of its subjects, it's understandable that a few of the elders featured on the show have passed away. Specifically, these reactors were Barbara, Richard, Pamela, and Lois, and each one has received an Elders React video dedicated to their memory. Tetsu was the online alias of a Japanese vlogger who, while having a presence on YouTube, also uploaded to the site Nika Niko. He seemed to enjoy live streaming his adventures and sharing his various hikes and climbs with the world. Things changed when Tetsu started a stream entitled "Let's Go to Snowy Mount Fuji," despite Japanese officials warning hikers to stay away from it due to dangerous conditions. Tetsu clearly struggled with the climb, making frequent comments about how cold it was. Suddenly, he began to say, "I'm slipping," and the footage showed him starting to tumble down the mountain before cutting off. Rescuers were sent out to find him, and 2 days later they found Tetsu deceased about 3,000 meters up the mountainside. Ronnie Edwards was a video editor best known for his work on the show Game Theory. Ronnie joined the channel very early in its life, and his editing style and blocky character animation basically defined the way Game Theory would look for years to come. He worked on the show for about 5 years, in that time helping it grow from a modest little series to a titan of the YouTube gaming genre. In addition to this, Ronnie also had his very own series on the Game Theorist channel entitled Digressing and Side Questing, in which he took deep looks at small details or hidden elements of video games that most people would normally overlook. For his entire life, Ronnie was struggling with depression, and unfortunately, on July 4th, 2018, Ronnie was found dead in his apartment at the age of 25. In his memory, Ronnie's Game Theory friends such as Drake McWhorter and MatPat posted videos remembering their fallen friend, and marking his place in the history of the game theorists. Esther Earl was a young YouTube vlogger who became friends with John Green of the Vlogbrothers after meeting him at a Harry Potter convention in 2009. After their meeting, she became heavily involved in the Vlogbrothers fan community, and forged a close friendship with John over the internet. On top of that, she was also heavily involved in charity work, even helping a non-profit organization designed to help survivors of human rights violations known as the Harry Potter Alliance. Unfortunately, Esther was also diagnosed with thyroid cancer at the age of 12, and had been struggling with it for her entire time on the internet. She fought bravely until the bitter end, but on August 25th, 2010, she passed away. In her memory, her parents started the charity This Star Won't Go Out, designed to help families of children suffering from cancer. Additionally, John and his brother Hank celebrate the holiday called Esther Day every year on her birthday, August 3rd. The event brings together dozens of YouTubers from across the site to raise money for charity. It's clear that John's friendship with Esther meant a great deal to him, as he even loosely based his novel The Fault in Our Stars on her story. Arlene Cole was a small YouTuber with hardly any subscribers and no consistent upload schedule or channel theme. The reason her death is as well known as it is because of the controversial circumstances that surrounded it. As she became older, Arlene's mental state became increasingly fragile. On top of being autistic due to traumatic events from her childhood, she suffered from borderline personality disorder. Her emotional instability was a topic candidly discussed in her videos, and the YouTube personality she was far and away the most infatuated with was Social Repose, or as he goes by in real life, Richard. In a video posted by him in May of 2017 entitled "I Might Have to Move Out," Richard showed a satellite picture of his house, and joked that his location was so far off and secluded that if anyone could track it down and show up, he would reward them with a congratulatory glass of milk. Arlene, taking this quip a bit too literally, made the long trip from New York to Virginia to meet him, expecting to be warmly received by her favorite content creator. When she finally arrived at his address, it quickly became evident that Richard was entirely uncomfortable with her stunt, and after an awkward picture, she was unceremoniously sent on her way. Following this painful encounter, salt was poured on the wound when Social Repose's next video addressed the event in detail, which made her feel humiliated. Later that year, Arlene committed suicide. Since her death, many have attributed Social Repose's cold meeting and subsequent shaming of her as the reason for her downward spiral. Others believe it's a stretch to consider his actions the inciting incident, taking into consideration all the personal demons she had been fighting, as well as the 5-month gap between the controversy and her suicide. Brody Stevens was a stand-up comedian and star of a briefly aired Comedy Central show. Fans of his self-deprecating humor found a plethora of it in his YouTube podcasting channel, Festival of Friendship, where he and his co-host would talk for hours. In his last handful of years, his prospects really start to heat up, with movie appearances, a gig opening for David Spade, and nabbing the last slot of a popular LA nightclub. Brody seemed to be doing well in his career, but all of a sudden, he vanished. On February 22, 2019, following a few days of silence, his close friend Howard swung by his apartment to check in. Though Brody's car was parked in the lot, he wasn't answering the door. Now really concerned, Howard waited for the police to arrive. When they showed up and broke through the door, they were greeted with Brody's corpse lying limply on the floor. He had committed suicide. His co-hosts went on to release one final episode of the podcast, where they reminisce about their favorite moments of Brody with several guest appearances. Edd Gould was an animator and the creator of the popular web series Edd's World. He started Edd's World as a comic in the early 2000s with his friend Matt, who he met in secondary school. Edd also took interest in Flash animation and began teaching himself how to use the software until 2003, when he uploaded his first animation to Newgrounds. It was there Edd met his longtime friend and collaborator Tom Ska, with whom he would go on to create the Edd's World animated series along with Matt. The show followed Edd, Tom, and Matt as fictionalized versions of themselves living in the same house, and attracted a large audience due to the witty sense of humor and the creative stories. As they were rising in popularity on YouTube, Edd was battling leukemia, having been diagnosed in 2006. Despite seeming to beat the disease, in 2011 he learned that it had begun to make a comeback, and unfortunately took his life on March 25, 2012. In his memory, Tom and Matt started Edd's World Legacy, a crowdfunding campaign designed to keep his series going for a while longer. They produced a few episodes over the years, but finally decided to end the series on a high note in 2016. Mexican influencer Juan Rosales, known to his followers as the Pirate of Culiacan, never finished high school, instead choosing at the age of 15 to move out of his hometown and wash cars for a living in a nearby city. As time passed and his name became more well known, he was invited to more parties, and videos of his excessive drinking started to go viral. He became a social media sensation in Mexico, racking up millions upon millions of views and follows across Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And while his juvenile and braggadocious behavior was what propelled him further and further into success, it was also what cut his life tragically short. In December of 2017, a video was posted of Juan drunkenly insulting the deadliest drug lord in Mexico, saying El Mencho performs fellatio on him. Whether he intended it as a joke or felt invincible at the moment, the world will never really know. All we do know is that as soon as those words left his lips, his fate was sealed. On the 20th, while he was partying at a bar with friends, several cartel members burst in and opened fire on the 17-year-old, shooting him more than 15 times before fleeing. His body was so annihilated that the police were only able to identify him by his tattoos. Stevie Ryan was a YouTuber known mainly for making sketch comedy and parody videos. Eventually, these videos gained the attention of the network VH1, who in 2010 gave Stevie her very own sketch comedy show entitled Stevie TV, which lasted for 2 seasons. She continued getting occasional work in the entertainment industry until July 1st, 2017, when she was found dead in her home in an apparent suicide. This happened shortly after the passing of her grandfather, a loss which she stated on social media was especially devastating. Francisco Villalta, better known simply as Mungia, was a Costa Rican artist and painter. Francisco had a following on both Newgrounds and YouTube, where he posted small games and animations, but his biggest claim to fame was in the real world. In his home country of Costa Rica, Francisco was widely known for his murals, as he painted over 100 of them over the 15 years of his career. People were drawn to his art due to its simple, pleasant, and cartoony nature, as well as his charitable personality. Francisco painted murals for several children's charities over his lifetime, as he believed art was the best method of causing societal change. Sadly, after an amazing career, Francisco passed away on April 8, 2020 at the age of 43, though I was unable to find the cause of death. Narayana Reddy was the owner of a channel called Grandpa Kitchen, which started in August of 2017. In his videos, Reddy would sit in a field and make huge portions of food, ranging anywhere from pizza, hamburgers, to cuisine from his home country of India. He attracted an audience fairly quickly, as people were endeared by his calm, cheerful demeanor, as well as his generous nature, since all proceeds earned from the videos went directly to charities to help orphans. Reddy had no intention of profiting off of success. He simply wanted to make people happy as well as make the world a better place. Sadly, on October 27, 2019, Reddy passed away at the age of 73. Upon hearing the news, many of his fans took to Twitter to honor his memory, some mourning him as though he were their own grandfather. Today, Reddy's mission and channel are continued by his family and team in order to continue the good work he did for the world. Emily Hartridge was an English YouTuber who began her career in 2012 with a series of videos entitled 10 Reasons Why, in which she took satirical looks at relatable topics like relationships and mental health. These videos eventually reached a level of popularity to where Emily was approached by the British Channel 4 to be a presenter for their new show, Oh Blank, I'm 30. Tragically, her life was cut short when she was riding a scooter in London and collided with an oncoming truck. Mari Lopez made up half of Liz and Marie, a vlogging channel created by her niece with the purpose of documenting her struggle against breast cancer. With their videos, the two advocated natural remedies to their thousands of subscribers, even admitting to disregarding the cancer treatment recommended by Marie's doctor. After she went into remission, they attributed her newfound vegan lifestyle and faith in God as the reason for her healing. Unfortunately, this period of wellness didn't last long, as the cancer had spread to her blood, liver, and lungs, and she died in December of 2017. Liz would go on to claim that Marie's death occurred because she cheated on her diet by eating microwaved meat. Perhaps the most upsetting part of this affair still is that, according to Liz herself, once Marie realized she would die from the cancer, she personally requested Liz to take down their videos falsely promoting veganism as a legitimate cure. Over 2 years later, however, and these videos are still up on the channel. Auntie Fee was the online alias of Felicia O'Dell, who became famous in 2014 through a series of simple videos in which she cooked low-budget meals in her kitchen. Her crass personality quickly drew the attention of audiences, getting her hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers. This online popularity eventually translated into mainstream success, and Auntie Fee had the opportunity to collab with celebrities such as Jimmy Kimmel, Steve Harvey, and Snoop Dogg, as well as making appearances on shows such as The Real Husbands of Hollywood. Unfortunately, on March 14th, 2017, Felicia suffered a heart attack and was rushed to the hospital, where she died 4 days later. Corey La Barrie was a mid-sized creator that made a plethora of videos with friends in LA, including the likes of David Dobrik. With many of his challenges gaining hundreds of thousands of views, he seemed to be living the good life, until it was cut short on May 10th, 2020, when he was in a car crash with Ink Master star Daniel Silva. Shortly after the wreck, he was pronounced dead and Daniel was arrested. It was Corey's 25th birthday. Caleb Meakins was an accomplished man before he even started on YouTube. A charismatic entrepreneur, he was giving TEDx talks on humanitarian causes before he reached his late 20s. Though he moved to the UK when he was 8, he always felt a connection to his country of birth, Ethiopia. Obsessed with rekindling his Ethiopian roots, Caleb bridged his different worlds with the creation of a YouTube channel, Ethiopia and Me. In his first video, he outlined his main goal for the channel: to learn the language, learn the culture, and hopefully teach his viewers something along the way. And over the next 4 years, he would go go on to achieve all these objectives with eye-opening and educational content. However, things would take a turn for the worse when on February 20th, 2020, Caleb was due to catch a flight in London when he was the victim of a serious car accident. Even with both of his lungs collapsed and his skull and vertebrae severely fractured in several areas, Caleb managed to linger on to be hospitalized. 5 days later, his family started a GoFundMe page in order to pay for the medical expenses, which exceeded its goal by an astounding 500%. Sadly, Caleb would pass away from his injuries shortly thereafter. Peter Oakley, aka Geriatric 1927, was an elderly British man who, like many people in 2006, was fascinated by the new platform of YouTube, and quickly began posting vlog-like content to the site. After posting his first video, people quickly began to take notice, enjoying Peter's calm demeanor and soothing voice. This success prompted him to start a series entitled Telling It All, in which he told stories about his wife, his career as a public health inspector, his love of motorcycles, and his time as a radar technician during World War II. These videos were very popular by the standards of the time, gaining hundreds of thousands of views and getting Peter's channel nearly 80,000 subscribers, for a small time making him the most subscribed to channel on all of YouTube. He continued making these videos all the way up until he passed away from cancer at the age of 86 on March 23rd, 2014. While the list thus far has focused on only the death of humans, it should be noted that many animals have also passed away in the past 15 years of the platform. Tartar Sauce was a cat with feline dwarfism owned by a woman by the name of Tabitha. In September of 2012, Tabitha's brother Brian posted an image of Tartar Sauce on Reddit, where it quickly began blowing up. Redditors dubbed the feline Grumpy Cat due to her constantly angry-looking facial expression, and the image soon gained meme status. For years, Grumpy Cat was a widely known symbol of online culture, and Tartar Sauce also became a merchandising juggernaut, selling millions of dollars worth of coffee mugs, t-shirts, and plush toys. With accounts across all of social media, including YouTube, this cat had become a celebrity. There were books, comics, phone games, and even a movie entitled Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever, in which the role of Grumpy Cat was played by Aubrey Plaza. Yes, Tabitha and Brian had clearly struck the gold mine of easy money with their pet. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and Tartar Sauce died in Tabitha's home at the age of 7 due to a urinary tract infection. Run by proud owner Brock Fentel, Toucan TV was a channel which followed the daily antics of Ripley, YouTube's favorite toucan. Although every video was filled with insightful tips for those planning on owning such a unique pet, the main draw of the content was undoubtedly the cute and mischievous bird herself. Unfortunately, on January 1st, 2019, Ripley suffered from heart failure and passed away in Brock's arms. A week later, Brock made a touching tribute video to her life, and in the comments clarified he would be donating her skeleton for educational use. Since her death, he has adopted several more toucans, and the channel has continued in her memory. Jeffree Star is an incredibly successful online beauty guru, gaining millions of both subscribers and dollars from selling his makeup and beauty products. He is also very well known for his eccentric and over-the-top sense of style, and this extends to his choice of pets. Star seems to have a fascination with Pomeranians, as he's adopted several over the years. This also means he's had to say goodbye to a couple as well, namely his dogs Diamond and Daddy, both due to various health defects. Logan Paul has become famous across the internet for his various outrageous stunts. His career started on Vine in high school before later moving on to making YouTube videos. But from the very beginning, he was joined by his beloved son conure named Maverick. The bird made many appearances in Logan's vlogs, and he even named his merch line after Maverick. The two were an inseparable pair for 7 years, until July of 2019, when Logan posted on Instagram that Maverick had been eaten by his dog while on vacation in Sweden. Paul Vasquez, or as he was known on YouTube, Yosemite Bear 62, was a YouTuber that made videos on him living a life close to nature. What made him a viral hit in the mainstream, however, was a video from 2010 of him having an over-the-top reaction to a double rainbow across the sky. In an era when people were on the lookout for viral videos, this fit the bill, and gained tens of millions of views. A decade later, it was revealed that Paul tested positive for COVID-19, as well as another unspecified ailment, and shortly thereafter passed away, though as of writing, the cause of death hasn't been released. Stefán Karl Stefánsson was an Icelandic actor most well known for his work on the critically acclaimed kids show Lazytown, where he played the sluggish main antagonist Robbie Rotten. The show had regular music interludes and always taught a lesson prompting a healthy lifestyle. In October of 2016, Stefan announced that he had been diagnosed with bile duct cancer. Following this announcement, the actor's longtime friend and head writer of Lazytown, Mark Valenti, started a GoFundMe campaign in his name. In an inspiring turn of events, meme creators on YouTube saw this news and began making parodies of a clip from the show of his character. Before long, the "We Are Number One" meme became a YouTube sensation, as did Stefan himself. And as a result, the GoFundMe reached far beyond its original goal. Following the excitement, Stefan made his own YouTube channel, quickly gathering hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and prompting the upload of the incredibly wholesome "We Are Number One Live, but it's the live version with an interview," in which he and old cast members performed the song as an act of gratitude towards his supporters. In August of 2017, the internet collectively celebrated when Stefan declared he was in remission. Unfortunately, these hoorays would prove to be premature, when in March of 2018 he would disclose through Twitter that the cancer had returned, and was now inoperable. To the dismay of the entire internet, Stefan died in his home on August 21st, 2018, at the young age of 43. As per his wishes, there was no funeral, but millions around the world mourned his death all the same. Will Norton, aka Wildebeest, was a high school student in Joplin, Missouri, who posted lighthearted vlogs and comedy sketches from 2007 to 2011, amassing nearly 1.5 million views and thousands of subscribers. On May 22nd of 2011, the now infamous Joplin tornado first struck the city, destroying everything in its path. Will was driving home from his high school graduation when he encountered the catastrophic twister, and despite his father's attempt to hold on to his son, he was pulled through the sunroof of the car. Weeks later, his corpse was found in a shallow lake. He was only 18. Jam Sebastian was a Filipino actor who, alongside his girlfriend, ran their shared YouTube channel JuiceWRLD. Jamich, the nickname used by fans to refer to the couple jointly, devoted their channel to uploading short films which gave an inside look on the emotional complexities of a relationship. In January of 2014, Jam was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. After announcing this heavy news to their devastated million subscribers, tears were shared by fans when at the Philippine International Convention Center, his longtime girlfriend proposed to him. The last video on JuiceWRLD, uploaded on July 19, 2014, was a heartwarming compilation of prominent YouTubers across the globe giving their well wishes to Jam. Sadly, on March 4, 2015, Jam passed away. The Bratayley family is a popular family vlogging channel with over 7 million subscribers. On October 1st, 2015, millions of fans were shocked to find out that the family's eldest son, Caleb, died unexpectedly and tragically at the age of 13 due to heart failure. Apparently, Caleb had suffered from a heart condition known as hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, although he had exhibited no symptoms prior to his death. Fans would later find out that the heart condition was something that ran in the family. They had since tested their other 2 children for it, but thankfully the tests came back negative. Tyree Williams, better known as Tai Couture, was a YouTube hairstyle expert and LGBT activist. He openly struggled with depression for most of his life, and he became a well-known member of the online gay community with his words of support for young gay men who might have similar problems to him. Sadly, despite his long battle, Tai committed suicide in October of 2019, prompting shock and sadness from a large portion of the online world. Qing Han, known to her fans as Quinny, grew up in a family which disapproved of her artistic passion. Seeking community, she created an account on DeviantArt in the late 2000s, where she would go on to cultivate a substantial and enthusiastic following. Renowned for her generosity and humbleness, Qing kept active correspondence with friends and fans alike, and frequently posted in-depth tutorials. On her YouTube channel with over 400,000 subscribers, she uploaded speed painting videos to act as step-by-step presentations of her works. On December 27, 2019, 2 days after Christmas, she revealed via Twitter that she had been diagnosed with stage 4 sarcoma, and at most had a year and a half left. Sadly, even this prognosis massively overestimated her condition, and on February 10, 2020, she died at the age of 29. Following the announcement of her passing, fans got the hashtag #GalaxiesForQuinny to trend on Twitter, and many recreated her most iconic piece, Starred Freckles, as a tribute to her. Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, known to the world as XXXTentacion, was a Floridian rapper and songwriter. Unlike other musicians with YouTube channels, Jose frequently accessed his account to upload personalized content outside of his brand, such as vlogs and, to the delight of his fans, gaming videos. The hip-hop community was largely split on XXXTentacion. On one side of the fence, people denounced him for his unforgivable acts of violence, such as when he allegedly battered his pregnant girlfriend. On the other side, many appreciated him for his unconventional style despite his shortcomings as a person. Unfortunately for Jose, the reactions to his death would prove to be just as polarizing as the reactions to his life. On June 18, 2018, while leaving a motorbike dealership, 2 men blocked his car and demanded his possessions at gunpoint. A short skirmish ensued, which resulted in him being shot several times in the neck. The county sheriff's office later confirmed he died immediately. Since his murder, his estate has released dozens of pre-recorded songs on his channel. Antti Pendikainen was a Finnish stunt performer who garnered over 80,000 subscribers by posting his high-octane capers, from driving to flying a snowmobile to jumping out of a hot air balloon without a parachute. He performed these feats with nerves of steel, always eager to take on the next impossible challenge. On May 26, 2019, while competing in a national motorbike race in Finland, Antti lost control of his bike and collided with some nearby trees. Although first aid was available at the scene, his injuries proved to be fatal. Steve Cash created his channel in November of 2007, with the primary goal of showcasing his musical talent to the World Wide Web. However, his life would change forever when he made a video entitled Kitty Wake Up, in which he engaged in a funny back and forth with his feline Sylvester by replacing the sound of her meows with high-pitched voiceovers. The episodes began to bring in more and more views, and soon enough the entire channel was renamed from Steve Cash 83 to Talking Kitty Cat. These videos brought laughter to millions of fans, from the first episode in March of 2008 to its unplanned final episode in December of 2019. On April 16, 2020, Steve tragically took his own life by shooting himself in the chest. While Steve had previously addressed his struggles with mental health, his disposition was so upbeat and cheerful in his content that many fans were taken aback by the grim news. He is survived by his wife, dog, and of course his creative partner, Sylvester. Fabio Andreas Legardo Lizcano, otherwise known simply as Legardo, was a Colombian singer and YouTuber. In February of 2019, while promoting his upcoming single Nutella, Legardo happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. While riding in the backseat of an Uber, he found himself in the crossfire of a nearby carjacking, getting hit in the head with a stray bullet. Legardo was rushed to the hospital, but despite the best efforts of the doctors, he soon passed away from his injuries. In his honor, a concert was held in Medellin, Colombia, organized by his girlfriend. The show was attended by all the YouTuber and singer friends Legardo had made over his career, and served as a huge celebration of his life and work. Dr. Shawn Stephenson was a therapist, author, and motivational speaker who was born with a genetic disorder called osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone disease, which results in fragile bones and stunted growth. Because of these effects, Shawn had a height of merely 3 feet and was bound to a wheelchair for his entire life. He first began motivational speaking at the age of 17, but quickly went back to school to become a therapist to ensure he was giving insightful advice to his followers. Soon enough, his career as a celebrity speaker was booming, with him earning a minimum of $15,000 per appearance. Despite this mainstream success, Shawn hopped on the YouTube train rather early, creating his channel in 2006. On his channel, he uploaded clips of his speeches and TV appearances, but also posted more personalized content, such as daily vlogs and the occasional dance party. On August 28, 2019, Shawn suffered a concussion after an accident, and due to the following complications with the surgery, died at 40 years of age. He is survived by his wife, Mindy. Justin Juwario Carmichael was a retro game critic best known for a series You Can Play This, a show in which he reviewed old games he imported from Japan. Justin was mainly known for his work on That Guy with the Glasses, as he was a member there for nearly 7 years before moving on and doing his own thing on YouTube. That was until 2014, when Justin's wife went on Facebook to announce that he had committed suicide in their bathroom. Fans and creators alike spoke out in droves to honor Justin's memory, many calling him the nicest person they had ever met. However, after the release of the infamous Change the Channel document, many began to suspect that Justin was guilty of some appalling acts throughout his life. These claims of sexual misconduct have left a dark stain on Justin's formerly clean legacy. Mike Friedman ran the animation channel Toonsmith Productions, which housed the incredibly popular series Ultimate Cartoon Fighting. In this series, which achieved over 200 million views, iconic cartoon characters duked it out through the power of flash animation and impressively uncanny voice acting. In the midst of the 7th season, the series was discontinued when on March 12, 2014, Friedman died due to complications from his diabetes. 5 years after his passing, the channel finally reached the impressive milestone of 500,000 subscribers. FPS Russia was a channel started in 2010 by Kyle Myers, who in his videos would often play the character of a Russian man named Dmitry. His videos showcased Kyle shooting off several different types of often absurd and over-the-top firearms, while speaking in a Russian accent. The supplier of these weapons was Keith Ratliff, who was the owner of a gun store as well as being Kyle's good friend and business partner. The two seemed to be doing very well for themselves, accumulating millions of views and subscribers, but all of this would be cut short on January 6, 2013, when Keith was found dead from a bullet wound in his gun store. His death certainly threw a cog into the works for FPS Russia, as the channel went on a brief hiatus until February of that year. Police continue to investigate the crime, but the identity of Keith Ratliff's killer remains a mystery to this very day. Monty was a popular online animator and writer known mainly for his work on the website Rooster Teeth. He got his start in 2002, shortly after dropping out of high school. Monty took 3D models of several different video games and would use them to make short videos depicting characters from several different franchises, including Halo, Metroid, and Final Fantasy, fighting. These videos quickly caught the eye of several big-name video game companies, and Monty would quickly find himself working as an animator for studios such as Midway Games and Bandai Namco for the next few years. In 2009, Monty was approached by Rooster Teeth, who offered him a job animating for the series Red vs. Blue, which he happily agreed to. It was during his time at Rooster Teeth that Monty pitched his idea for an original series called Ruby, an anime-inspired series with heavy influences from fantasy and folklore. The series was green-lit and soon became a hit, garnering many fans and still producing new episodes to this very day. On January 22nd, 2015, Monty was rushed to the hospital after falling into a coma due to an allergic reaction to a shot he had received. Despite doctors doing all they could to save him, Monty sadly and suddenly passed away a little over a week later on February 1st. There have been many tributes to Monty's life and legacy in Ruby since his passing, such as a song in the show's 6th season and memorials being placed in both seasons 3 and 7. Greg Plitt was a bodybuilder, writer, and YouTuber. After serving as a U.S. Army Ranger for 5 years, Greg moved to Los Angeles and became a personal trainer, quickly gaining fame with a series of self-training books. Greg was also featured in several men's health magazines and acted in commercials for products such as Old Spice. He was so well known for physical fitness that his body was even used as a reference for the character of Dr. Manhattan in the film adaptation of Alan Moore's famous comic series Watchmen. In 2015, Greg was struck by an oncoming train while filming a self-produced fitness video, and he died instantly on impact. Desmond Amofa was best known by his online name Eddika. He started his career as a rapper in 2007 before moving on to streaming on YouTube in 2012. Eddika's content was primarily personality driven, as people loved watching his over-the-top reactions. People also enjoyed his positive and uplifting message, as he ended every one of his videos by telling fans dubbed Joy-Con boys to take care of themselves. However, around 2018, people began to notice some troubling behavior from Eddika. In October of that year, he posted a pornographic video to his YouTube channel, which caused it to be terminated. In April of 2019, he did the same thing on a second channel, with the same result. Around this time, he began posting some concerning things on his Twitter account, such as, "It's my turn to die." On April 29th, Eddika live-streamed himself on Instagram being arrested. Later that same week, he would be arrested again, this time assaulting a police officer. These events were obviously concerning to Eddika's friends, fans, and family, who all tried to reach out to help him. Unfortunately, on June 19th, 2019, Eddika posted a video entitled "I'm Sorry," in which he talked about his mental health struggles throughout his life. This video had a troubling tone of finality to it, and Desmond disappeared shortly after the video was uploaded. Concern rose when a backpack full of his belongings were found, including his cell phone, wallet, and Nintendo Switch on the Manhattan Bridge. A few days later, a body was found in Manhattan's East River, which officials tragically soon confirmed belonged to Desmond. Eddika's death caused a shockwave of grief throughout the entire internet, and people from every corner of the web mourned his loss. In his honor, a mural was painted of him in Brooklyn, and it has become a hotspot for Desmond's beloved game, Pokemon Go. Jesse Slaughter became infamous in 2010 when a post on the website Sticky Drama accused Blood on the Dance Floor singer Devi Vanity of having sex with her. Even though she was underage at the time, this led some to start attacking her. In response, she began making angry posts responding to her attackers, which only resulted in more harassment being sent her way. Eventually, this culminated in a video in which Jesse's father, Gene, screamed at the camera while she cried. This would be bad enough on its own, but in February of 2011, Jesse's father was arrested for charges of child abuse. Apparently, during a particularly intense argument, Gene slapped his daughter in the mouth, causing her to bleed. He pleaded not guilty and was released on bond a month later. Only a few months later, Gene suffered a massive heart attack in his home, ending his clearly very troubled life. Solo was a Japanese YouTuber who, despite having only 7,000 subscribers, made national headlines with her death. On her channel, she frequently did mukbangs, an internet trend of eating food while interacting with livestream viewers. On April 8th, while performing one of these mukbangs, she decided to participate in the classic Japanese trend of the onigiri challenge, and attempted to devour an entire rice ball in under 30 seconds. After bragging to her live audience that she could eat it in one bite, she lodged the entire rice ball down her throat, where it stayed. After realizing she wasn't able to swallow it, she desperately attempted to spit out the chunks, but couldn't. After 2 minutes of suffocating, she lost consciousness and dropped to her beanbag. After members of the audience alerted the authorities, paramedics arrived 20 minutes later and ended the livestream. With her fate up in the air, the story reached large news outlets and became a catalyst for a greater discussion on the health risks certain internet trends posed. On April 10th, 2 days after Sola's stunt went wrong, her son went on her Twitter account to confirm to the world that she had died in the hospital. Yodi Slaya was the internet pseudonym of Brian Ricard, a gaming YouTuber who specialized in Borderlands 2 videos, gaining over 800,000 subscribers over his career. On the night of October 23, 2013, Brian and 2 of his friends were driving home from a party. Allegedly, they had been drinking so much that Brian tried to beat out an oncoming train. Unfortunately, he was not fast enough, and he and his passengers were killed in the ensuing crash. Harley Dilly was a 14-year-old autistic boy living in Port Clinton, Ohio, and he made vlog-like content on his YouTube channel. In December of 2019, Harley was reported missing by his father after searching for him over a day. According to his father, he and Harley had gotten into a fight the day before after he had broken the boy's phone. Apparently, there had been many instances in the past where Harley and his parents had an argument, resulting in the boy running away from home and not returning for a few hours. However, Harley had never disappeared for this long before, causing his parents to start worrying. Police spent days searching for Harley, checking in at the homes of his friends and at his school. The search gained national attention, getting reported on by mainstream news outlets. Finally, after weeks of searching, police found Harley's unfortunately deceased body on January 13th, 2020, trapped in the chimney of an abandoned house in Harley's home neighborhood. In the wake of Harley's death, some have criticized his parents for waiting so long to contact authorities, and have even pressured officials to change the laws for the reporting of missing children. Clara Canukeri, known as Great Depression Cooking on YouTube, lived up to her name. Not by baking her way through feelings of deep melancholy, but by actually utilizing lessons she gleaned from her mother during the historical period. Born in 1915, Clara was a teenager during the Great Depression, and because her newly immigrated parents were hit particularly hard by the economic downturn, her mother had to be resourceful and imaginative in producing family meals so they could remain healthy and fit during those perilous years. In her catalog of lessons from 2008 to 2013, Clara soothingly explained how to cook and prepare meals using inventive techniques, frequently tossing in relevant anecdotes from her childhood. Her wholesome grandmother nature drew the appeal of millions of viewers, but it was her delightful sense of humor and captivating backstory that made her a unique personality. On November 29th, 2013, she passed away at the age of 98. Eric Coop de Santiago was an active member of Dodger Films on YouTube, a sports channel devoted to posting Let's Plays of the PS4 game MLB The Show, and showcasing their weekly softball games to their million subscribers. Coop made his first appearance on their second ever game, and quickly became a fan favorite of the audience for his humor and charm, even though he rarely played due to his debilitating health issues. Sadly, Coop suffered a heart attack on September 15th, 2018 and died shortly after. The creator of the channel, Bobby Crosby, posted a video 3 days later, in which he recounted his favorite stories of his friend. The next softball game played, aptly titled Coop Memorial Game, paid tribute to his memory. On April 3rd, 2012, Connie Kin co-founded the channel What's Up Moms with her best friend, Elle Walker. Together, the two made short, helpful vlogs about their parenting lifestyle for their thousands of subscribers. Some of their greatest hits were powered by Connie's ingenuity, such as their mom-themed music video parodies. Things changed, however, only a year after the channel was started when Connie Kin died from an infection after giving birth to her daughter, Elsa. A video posted by Elle entitled "In Loving Memory of Connie" honored her for her contributions to the channel, as well as her life outside of YouTube. Since her passing, What's Up Moms has grown to become the most subscribed to parenting channel on the site, with nearly 3 million subscribers and over 60 million views a month. Venetia Peoples, more commonly known by her online persona, The Queen, was a gaming YouTuber known mainly for making content involving the popular game series The Sims. She did quite well for herself, amassing over 100,000 subscribers in just 2 short years on YouTube. In June of 2013, Venetia was rushed to the hospital due to a sudden and unexpected infection in her lungs. Sadly, not too long after, her sister announced that there had been complications during the surgery, and Venetia had passed away. Her sister continued uploading to the channel a while after that, but seems to have fallen off about a year ago. Reggie Osei, known to the rap world as Combat Jack, was a jack of all trades. In his life, he never missed a chance to pursue an opportunity, and at one point or another worked as a music attorney, journalist, editor, and administrator. So naturally, Reggie joined the YouTube game early on by beginning the Combat Jack show in March of 2006. The show was a weekly podcast starring him and his co-star Dallas Penn, as well as a diverse array of guests, and typically covered topics relating to hip-hop, fashion trends, and current events. Sadly, he died on December 21st, 2017, due to complications of colon cancer. Due to his contributions to so many fields, his death was mourned by generations of rappers, radio hosts, and journalists alike. Ernest Barry Elliott was a gun enthusiast who often appeared on the Iraq Veteran 8888 channel. Created in 2008, the channel had since become one of the largest gun channels on all of YouTube. Barry brought his flair to segments like Gun Gripes, Firearm Facts, and 5 Guns, and was beloved by many in the community due to his no-nonsense disposition and signature catchphrase, "That's correct." In 2014, Barry had a heart attack and died at the age of 59. 2 days later, the last episode of Gun Gripes was posted to the channel entitled Final Farewell, which announced his death and ended the series. They would later revive the segment following outcry from fans, but made clear in their first episode back that Barry's contributions could never be replaced. Ruben Carbonell was a Spanish YouTuber and daredevil with a small channel. He enjoyed partaking in extreme, death-defying stunts, usually involving parachuting from extreme heights. In August of 2019, Ruben and a friend snuck into a cement factory late at night, and began to scale up its 150-foot chimney. Ruben planned this out just like one of his many other dives he's done before. But after jumping, he quickly realized that his parachute was malfunctioning. He tried desperately to release it as he fell, but it was no use as he died instantly when hitting the ground. Emre Özkan was a Turkish YouTuber known mainly for sketch comedy videos. His content fluctuated in popularity, but at his best, his videos received tens of millions of views. That is until November of 2018, when Emre and his girlfriend rented out a studio in Istanbul. While the couple was asleep, a fire mysteriously broke out, and it spread quickly, presumably due to an electrical malfunction. Despite the best efforts of the firefighters, Emre did not survive the blaze. Christina Grimmie started her YouTube channel in 2009 at the age of 15, performing covers of pop songs. She quickly found popularity online, with her biggest break coming in 2014 when she appeared as a contestant on the reality singing competition The Voice. Her natural talents and friendly personality won over the hearts of both the judges and the audience, and with the support of mainstream singers like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, Christina was able to finish in 3rd place. This is what truly springboarded her to mainstream success, as she signed a deal with Island Records and began going on several tours. Sadly, during a meet and greet after a show in Orlando, Christina was gunned down by a crazed and delusional fan who believed he was the love of her life. After her death, hundreds of thousands of celebrities and fans took to the internet to mourn the loss of this rising star in the world of music. Since Christina's passing, her family and boyfriend have released a few albums in her honor. Daniel Kyer was a YouTuber and musician who in 2012 started a sketch and musical comedy channel, Syndigo. He did this with the help of his high school friend Ryan McGee, and later they included their other friend Matt Watson in on the channel. And the trio steadily gained an audience of people who loved their over-the-top, absurdist sense of humor. At their height, Daniel, Ryan, and Matt were flown to Los Angeles by popular Let's Player Markiplier for a series of collaborations. At the time, it seemed like Syndigo was on the top of the world, as things were continually looking up for them. However, unknown to the outside world, Daniel was struggling with severe depression. On September 16, 2015, Daniel was rushed to the hospital after being found hanging in his home. He survived for 2 days, but unfortunately passed away on September 18th. Matt, Ryan, and Markiplier all mourned his loss, and they ended the Syndigo channel out of respect for his memory. Bianca Devins was a teenager from New York with a modest social media presence. On the night of July 14th, 2019, while she was on her way home from a concert, Bianca was attacked and killed by an unknown assailant. After the murder, her attacker posted horrifying images of Bianca's body to Discord and Instagram, sparking a reaction of shock and disgust by the internet. In the wake of the murder, many people cited Bianca's death as an example of the danger YouTubers faced every day on the internet, believing her killer may have been an online stalker. However, upon further investigation, law enforcement had determined that Bianca may have known her attacker in real life, and his attack was done out of jealousy as she didn't reciprocate the feelings he had for her. Still, no matter the reason he had for killing her, Bianca's death is a tragic example of emotion taken to the extreme. Masta Nama was an Indian chef who first achieved her internet fame at the age of 105, when her great-grandson began posting videos of her cooking to the channel Country Foods. Though her culinary practices were oftentimes unconventional, her wisdom and heartwarming disposition captured the hearts of many, bringing the channel over 1 million subscribers and a total view count of over 200 million. On December 3rd, 2018, a year and a half after her first cooking lesson was broadcasted, she died peacefully at the age of 107. Talia Castellano was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma at the age of 7. After finding out she was sick, she began using makeup as a comforter, and soon realized it was her passion. At 9 years old, she began filming short makeup tutorials in her bedroom and uploading them to YouTube, which the internet soon fell in love with. Within months, her channel had achieved millions of views and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Her popularity was only further boosted when she appeared on The Ellen Show and pulled the heartstrings of watchers across America. Sadly, Talia passed away due to her sickness on July 16, 2013, at the age of only 13. Her memory lives on with over 150 videos uploaded on her account. Artem was a Russian biking blogger who managed the YouTube channel Moto Nexus, where he posted weekly reviews of motorcycles. His life was cut short in 2019 when Artem rode his bike from the passenger seat, steering it with his feet at 85 miles per hour, all while texting his friend a video of the dangerous act. His last words on the video, which turned out to be prophetic, were, "Most problems arise due to the fact that I don't give a F." Moments after pressing send, Artem collided with a car on the highway and was killed immediately. His death impacted many in the Russian biking community, although some accused him of needlessly endangering himself along with everyone else on the road. Diego Guilherme, known to his followers as Futbolista, was a Brazilian gamer established on both YouTube and Twitch. Suffering from muscular atrophy, he was no stranger to health scares. In his life, he was able to triumphantly overcome most obstacles in his way, but sadly could no longer fight when he was diagnosed with pneumonia. On May 18, 2013, after being hospitalized for several days, Thiago died at the age of 16. After receiving news of his death, the community on the GTA 5 server that he frequently played on paid their respect to the young gamer, dressing their characters in black and altogether walking down the streets of the game as one of the streamers sang Hallelujah. Charlie Green Jr. was an internet personality who rose to fame with his character called Angry Grandpa. The channel was started in 2007 and soon found success by making videos in which he reacted in an over-the-top and angry manner to various things. The most popular videos were the ones in which he was pranked by his son, Michael. People flocked to these videos due to the sheer dedication that Green had for his craft. He would often smash objects like microwaves and video game consoles if he thought it would improve a video. On top of that, he was also banned from multiple stores and restaurants throughout his hometown due to his angry outbursts for content. Sadly, after a decade-long career on YouTube, Charlie Green passed away due to complications from a liver condition. After his death, countless YouTube and mainstream celebrities alike came together to mourn the loss of one of the internet's biggest stars. Daniel Thomas, aka Pee-wee Tom, devoted his channel to blogging his battle against sarcomatoid carcinoma, a rare form of cancer he was diagnosed with in 2015. Though his battle was an arduous and uncertain one, Daniel kept an optimistic attitude through thick and thin, inspiring his viewers to make the best of their circumstances. Though he maintained an upbeat and motivational tone throughout his content, he was never disingenuous, and always leveled with his audience when it came to the darker aspects of his journey. 8 months after his first upload, Daniel through shaken breaths shared the devastating results from his recent hospital scan. It determined he had extra metastasis in his left lung and liver, a massive growth on his chest wall, and widespread bone cancer. Not only was any assistive surgery now impossible, but his lifespan was reduced to mere days. Following this upload, Daniel stuck to his philosophy and made the best of his time left, feeding Galapagos tortoises, marrying his longtime girlfriend, getting a kitten and saying his final goodbyes to family and friends. On September 24th, 2018, Daniel recorded his final video from his hospital bed, and on September 28th, he passed away. 11 days after his passing, a celebration of Dan's life was attended by loved ones and fans alike, complete with eulogies, motivational speakers, and musical performances. On November 4th, Dan was posthumously named the honorary ambassador for the Youth Cancer Trust. Hussein Hamid was an Iraqi YouTuber who, as best as I can tell without being able to speak the language, primarily made sketch and prank videos. His channel seemed to be quite popular, accumulating nearly 1 million subscribers over its run. On June 6, 2019, Hussein was involved in a car accident that unfortunately took his life. Since his death, his channel has actually surpassed the 1 million subscriber mark in an apparent show of support by his fanbase. Pedro Ruiz was a man with a dream of online fame. In 2017, he and his pregnant girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, started a YouTube channel where they did vlogs, pranks, and most notably, stunts. Eventually, Pedro got the idea for a particularly dangerous video. He would hold an encyclopedia in front of his chest in order to protect him from a .50 caliber Desert Eagle handgun fired by his girlfriend. She was of course reluctant to do this, but after pressuring her for weeks, she finally agreed. Pedro had reportedly tested the stunt several times until they found a book that was thick enough to stop a bullet, which is what finally convinced Mona Lisa to help. Unfortunately for Pedro, the stunt wasn't as safe as he had planned, and he was killed almost instantly upon being shot. Mona Lisa was quickly arrested and pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter, for which he was jailed for 6 months. Dylan the Hacker, otherwise known by his character's name of Dylan Henderson or his real name Griffin Claus, was a YouTube personality who found fame in 2014 by making satirical, over-the-top rant videos about bigger YouTubers. These videos went after creators like Smosh, Markiplier, and PewDiePie, and often drew anger from fans of those channels who didn't get the joke. During the channel's early years, Dylan started a fake war with PewDiePie in which he pretended to hack his channel and steal his girlfriend Marzia. In 2016, Dylan's channel was terminated by YouTube. After PewDiePie helped him get it back, Dylan decided to publicly end their fictional feud. Dylan was becoming quite the staple of the satirical side of YouTube during this time. Tragically, on July 28, 2019, Griffin passed away via suicide, as was confirmed by his friend on Twitter. PewDiePie paid tribute to him in his 2019 YouTube Rewind, saluting him for successfully trolling his entire audience back all those years ago. Known only by his username Sun, this Chinese vlogger was quite popular on Douyu, a Chinese video streaming platform, and often had clips spread on YouTube as well. In order to set himself apart from everyone else on the internet, Sun often streamed himself pulling outrageous stunts. What his audience didn't know at the time was his last ever live broadcast would prove to feature the most dangerous one yet, spinning the large wheel behind him to determine the sickening things he would be digesting for his audience. Sun ended up eating live poisonous centipedes and geckos, as well as downing bottles of vinegar and liquor. Midway through the stream he collapsed, and by the time the authorities arrived, he was dead. To this very day, it's unclear what exactly killed him out of all the things he ate. Claire Wineland was born on April 10, 1997 with cystic fibrosis, a genetic disorder mostly affecting the lungs and causing breathing difficulty. From a very young age, she enjoyed performing, frequently partaking in theater and public speaking. When she was only 13 years of age, Claire was placed in a medically induced coma after experiencing massive lung failure, and was given a mere 1% chance of surviving by doctors. Miraculously, she pulled through and lived. Shortly after this close run-in with death, she founded the Claire's Place Foundation, a charity dedicated to helping the families of people with cystic fibrosis. Claire's charity went on to help dozens of families in need, and she became an inspiration to hundreds of thousands of people across the world. She spoke at several conventions and gave a few TED Talks, with her captivating story and natural charisma proving very popular with audiences. In addition to this, she uploaded several vlogs to her YouTube channel as well as her website, The Clarity Project, discussing what it was like to live with a terminal illness. Tragically, despite fighting for years, Claire died on September 2nd, 2018, after a double lung transplant resulted in a blood clot which caused her to have a stroke. Her legacy is far from forgotten, however, as just last year, YouTube Originals produced a documentary in her honor simply entitled Claire, which was released on the 1-year anniversary of her passing. William Ma was one of the co-founders of a channel called Beyblade Geeks, on which he and his friends Steven and Brendan made videos about the popular toy line. In 2013, William passed away after being involved in a car accident on the Queen Elizabeth Highway a few days prior. The World Beyblade organization mourned his loss, and William's friends and family set up a scholarship fund in his name to honor his legacy. Steven and Brendan continue to upload to Beyblade Geeks to this very day, and the channel has since reached over 1 million subscribers. Daniela Patino was an aspiring vlogger on YouTube. Unbeknownst to her at the time, her content would draw the attention of monsters. After she received what was thought to be a real offer to work at a restaurant chain in Spain, she left her home in Colombia to make the life-altering trip. Sadly, she never made it past Guatemala, where her captors picked her up. She sent messages to her family in the days that followed, 2 of which were, "They are going to kill me," and "If they kill me, report this place in Zone 10 of Guatemala on the road to El Salvador." Eventually, Daniela's family stopped hearing from her, and 7 days later, her naked corpse was found in the location her family reported. In October, a Mexican gang leader was arrested in relation to her murder. Maxi was a prominent YouTuber in the Five Nights at Freddy's community. Using Source Filmmaker, Maxi made 3D animated music videos starring the game's animatronics, her most popular of which drew over 10 million views. On January 8th, 2020, Maxi posted an Instagram story informing her followers she was heading on a plane with her younger brother. This flight would turn out to be none other than Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752. Following the United States' assassination of an Iranian general, the Iranian armed forces were on high state of defensive alert, and mistaking the plane for a cruise missile, shot it down. Maxi and her 9-year-old brother and every other passenger and crew member were killed upon impact. Eric Stelter was a small fitness YouTuber who devoted his channel towards tracking his workout progress. Just from watching his videos, you would never imagine he was someone capable of brutal acts. That was until he had a violent mental breakdown. On December 28th, 2018, police responded to a call by entering a home to check what the commotion was all about. They were greeted with the sight of Eric stabbing and slashing his girlfriend using a knife and shards of glass as he referred to her as a demon. Once she managed to break away from his grasp, he turned to the cops and began screaming that he was God. After repeatedly attempting to de-escalate the situation, the officers were forced to tase him until he lost consciousness. His unresponsive body was transported to the hospital where he later died. Natalia White, known to her viewers as Cloverus, got into the ASMR game early on, posting her first video when she was just 17. Over the years, she became a favorite of the community, known for her bordering on satirical content like playing Roblox ASMR, and saying the N-word ASMR, and edgy high schooler gets detention for juuling in the school bathroom ASMR. Sadly, not too long after hitting that milestone, her life was cut short when she overdosed. Her boyfriend at the time, Alack Swag, admitted after the fact that she had been struggling with substance abuse issues for many years, and that he had hoped that she would eventually break free from her addiction. Her death was mourned by several prominent influencers in the community. Tyrone Fleming made a name for himself on YouTube, starring on the scripted web series 848, as the cold-blooded killer Tai Banga. Set in the Bronx, the series followed the lives of different gangsters and their day-to-day struggles. The show gathered a small but loyal following. On June 6, 2018, however, tragedy struck that would permanently derail the show's production. As the show's creator, Aubrey Williams, prepared to upload the Season 3 premiere, he got the call that would make this season the final one. It turned out Tyrone was gunned down in his own apartment after an unknown altercation with a stranger. He is remembered by his fiancée and 2 children, as well as the show which dedicated all the remaining episodes to his memory. Shotgun Red was a puppet best known as the co-host of Ralph Emery on National Now. Steve Hall, the comedian and puppeteer behind the character, crouched under the desk for the 10 years that the show aired, and made the audience roar with laughter with his quick wit and comedic timing. In 2015, long after the show was over, Steve Hall began filming himself cooking family recipes, and uploading them to the newly created channel, Cooking with Shotgun Red. These culinary tutorials became a hit, pulling in tens of thousands of views and eventually awarding the channel with over 200,000 subscribers. At the end of 2018, fans were saddened to find out Steve died of natural causes at the age of 64. His wife picked up the mantle of running the YouTube channel soon after, and continues to make cooking videos on the channel in his memory. Albino Black Sheep is an animation website that has acted as a portal for creators to submit their Flash animated videos since the early 2000s. They have housed some of the most iconic animations in YouTube history, like The Ultimate Showdown, Do You Like Waffles, and It's Peanut Butter Jelly Time. One of their lesser known series called Drawn Dream followed a still image of actor Vincent Price, as he went on nonsensical escapades. This series was created by Tim Jewell, an ambitious up-and-comer in the web animation field. Sadly, in September of 2009, Albino Black Sheep was notified by a friend of Tim's that he had hanged himself, and despite rescue attempts, died after being comatose for 6 days. Cem Korkmaz, son of famed Turkish actor Muhittin Korkmaz, was a YouTube vlogger widely known for his channel, Ben Cem. He gained popularity for his vlogs, pop culture discussions, and entertaining reviews of new movies. He also was a part-time actor as he appeared in multiple films. On November 1st, 2017, seemingly out of nowhere, Cem was found dead in his home after an apparent suicide. His friends and family would go on to tell the press that he was very resistant when it came to sharing his inner struggles, leaving everyone in the dark as to why he chose to take his own life. Scott Yakowiczuk was a proud member of the Element Animation team, an incredibly successful animation channel on YouTube with over 3 million subscribers and nearly 1 billion views to their name. Most well known for their animated Minecraft shorts, the small team of artists behind the channel work diligently to produce high-quality videos for their viewers, and Scott's talent as an animator and voice actor was evident in every single project they released. Sadly, Scott passed away on January 30th, 2015, after suffering a fatal heart attack. Element Animations would proceed to upload a video after his death, paying tribute to his best moments on the channel. Randy Pausch was a computer science professor at Carnegie Mellon University when he was dealt news that would turn his life upside down. In September of 2006, Randy was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The situation went from bad to worse when in August of 2007, he was told plainly his life expectancy was reduced to mere months. Shortly afterward, he spoke to his university for a final time in a speech titled The Last Lecture, Really Achieving Your Childhood Dreams, where he explained how he accomplished all his childhood ambitions and how the lessons learned along the way are as valuable as the final destination. The empowering lecture went viral on YouTube, and Randy became one of the very early idols of the site. He passed away peacefully at his home in July of 2008, surrounded by his wife and children. He died knowing that his final speech inspired millions across YouTube. Jonathan Sanchez Martinez was a French teen YouTuber who ran the channel John's BS. On the channel, he released videos where he completed trendy YouTube challenges, like the Mentos Challenge or the Condom Challenge, as well as posting original comedy sketches and on-the-street videos. In 2014, during a school field trip to Rome, John was found bleeding in his hotel room with a butterfly knife in his chest. Whether this was a result of some sort of game gone wrong or a stabbing following an argument remains unclear. Jonathan was soon pronounced dead, and more than 400 people appeared for his burial, many of whom were fellow students. Meechie Monroe had a disappointing career in marketing before a fateful bad haircut led her to discovering an online community that believed black women should embrace their natural hair. Feeling inspired by their message, Meechie began posting her hairstyle tutorials in 2010, empowering her viewers to give up their hot combs, perms, extensions, and display their organic hair for the world to see. Her channel took off rather quickly, with some of her videos bringing in more than 1 million views apiece. She was soon able to accept brand deals and endorsements. Things went awry, however, in 2014 when she suffered several strokes and was diagnosed with brain cancer. In preparation for the surgery, she had to shave all of her hair, and by doing so effectively retired her channel. In 2017, she passed away due to her cancer at the young age of 32. She is remembered by her mother and by her sister, who now also run a beauty hair-based channel. So there you have 100 YouTubers that have unfortunately passed away. And while each one of these people lived in a different country, were from different religions, and of course different backgrounds, the things binding them all together is that they'll collectively be missed by hundreds of millions of friends, family members, and fans alike. So with that thought, I'll end the video here. And until next time, thanks for watching.